Welcome to this Wednesday Brunch Dhamma talk on 6th of May, which also happens to be a Vesak day. This morning I'm going to talk about how much of the theory of Buddhism that you need to know to be able to do a complete practice. If you pick up a Buddhist book, whatever it is, you come to know that there are three sections: the Vinaya, Sutta, and the Abhidhamma. Now, how much do we need to know in order to be able to support us in our practice? Now, I'm going to tell you the basic information that I use to do my practice. We learn first the theory, and then we find out for ourselves what those things are. First thing, there are things about the world, and there are laws. Now, the first thing about the world is that in the Buddhist world, everything is divided into either material or non-material. Material form is just like wood, trees, stones, and everything. It's something very simple. Immaterial form is like the feelings that we have, thoughts that we have. And furthermore, something called consciousness. Those are material things. Something you know exists, but you cannot use your body senses. So that's the first thing to know. That the world is made up of body and mind. Right? Just these two things. Now, some things are just body. Some things are just body and mind. And some things are just mind only. So we have to understand, what body is, what material form is, what non-material form is. And we have to see them for what they are. The first thing is to know the definition, what they are. Now, in this practice, the most important point is to use the structure that the Buddha has given us. All right? We may use something equivalent, right? But we do not add something. We do not have to investigate something other than what the Buddha has given us. Say, for example, in materials, the Buddha says, well, in the end, it becomes the four great elements, right? And what are the four great elements? Something which is solid, fluid, something which has wind in it, and something which is the nature of fire, heat. Now we can change the solidity into something like called atoms, which is equivalent. But we have to work within the structures of what the Buddha taught us. So the world, first thing, is made up of material form and immaterial form. And the second thing that we know is that in nama, or non-material form, the Buddha further divided into 4 categories. Categories of feeling, categories of perception, categories of thought, and categories of consciousness. We roughly know what it is. That's good enough. We don't have to get an exact definition. Definition is just definition. People define it this way, somebody else define it a different way. We don't know. So our purpose is to find out what exactly is feeling, what exactly is perception, what exactly is thought, what exactly is consciousness. See it by ourselves so we know it, so we can describe it in our own words. So that's all that's in the world. Material form and non-material form. That's it. You don't need to know anything else. And the second thing that you have to know about the world is there are 2 kinds of truth. One which is called Paramatha Satya, which is absolute truth. The second one is Samuti Satya, that is conventional truth. So what is Paramatha Satya? Absolute truth. Absolute truth comes down to 4 great elements, or molecules and atoms, or just material form. So when the material form is something like a chair is conventional truth. A stool is conventional truth. A coffee table is conventional truth. All those are conventional truth. It is by convention that we agree it is a stool or a coffee table. We can use a coffee table as a stool or stool as a coffee table. So it can change. Conventional truth can change depending on the conventions of the society. But Paramatha Satya, absolute truth, do not change. In the sense that if it's material form, it is material form. It cannot be anything else. It cannot be non-material form. A non-material form is non-material form. It cannot be anything else. So in this world, we have simple, absolute truth. Everything else is conventional truth. So we live in a world of conventions, live in the world of conventional truth. Whether you drive on the left side or the right side, whether you call something a bush or a tree, whether you call something a fishbowl or a bun, an alms bowl, that's all convention. So this is an important thing we have to know. So when we come to know about conventional truth, then we do not have to hold tightly to this conventional truth, because we know this conventional truth can change. There's no right or wrong about it. There's no right about driving on the left side. No right about driving on the right side. It's by convention. So when you go up an escalator, whether you stand on the left side or the right side, depends on convention as well. So you got to watch out when you go to different countries. So that's the second thing we need to know. Absolute truth and conventional truth. So do not argue about conventional truth. They are set up, they are man-made. Right? Just accept the convention of society. If you go to the West, they say you got to wear your shoes into the house. You wear the shoes into the house. You may feel uncomfortable, but you do that. So when you go to certain parts, certain places in a country, you have to take off your shoes to go into a shop. You may feel awkward, but you do it. That's the convention. There's nothing right or wrong about it. That's the way that people have come to live. Another truth is cause and effect. Everything is due to a cause. Simple example of a cause is, for example, you have a snooker, you hit your cue ball, and it hits the red ball. That's the effect. The red ball starts moving. And then the red ball hits the black ball. And the red ball becomes the cause on the effect of the black ball. And then the black ball goes into the pocket and you get a penalty. That's cause and effect. On the physical thing, physical object, material form. Now in immaterial form, in anger, see, things like anger. Your boss vent out his anger on you. You go home, you vent out the anger on your spouse, your wife. Your wife vent out the anger on your children, or your son. Your son vent out the anger on the cat. The cat vent out the anger on your favorite coin. Right? And then you wonder what happened to your favorite coin. Why is it being attacked by the cat? Well, that's cause and effect. So what happened to your boss? Well, you decided not to work as hard as you used to. You decided not to support as much as you do with your boss. So that's cause and effect as well. It's a cause and an effect, and the effect becomes the cause for the next effect, and so on. That's the way the world goes now. But if we can let this effect cease without it making a further cause, then that's the end of it. Everything is due to a cause and effect. If everything happens by chance, then there could be a possibility that a tree can grow up your head, on top of your head, right? That's chance, but it won't happen. Tree won't grow out from your head because there's no cause for it. So when you go into the jungle, for you to be bitten by a snake, be eaten alive by a tiger, or whatever, there must be a cause for it as well. Some of that are due to karmic causes from the past. But without any cause, those things won't happen. Things will go normally. That's cause and effect. That is something we have to know. So we don't believe, irrationally, things without cause. Things suddenly appear. Ghosts suddenly appear without cause. And get frightened by it. Afraid of going to the jungle to practice without cause. Afraid of doing lots of things because of our irrational belief that things can happen. So you want to really know that nothing can happen without a cause. You want to have that conviction. And the third thing is the way thing goes, which is also cause and effect. It's called dependent origination, right? Which I've talked about a lot. Everything is dependently originated. Everything either starts from contact or starts from avijja, innocent and not knowing. And the most important thing to know is there is something called Nibbana, which the Buddha described as permanent, as real, as happiness, as the end of all suffering, as awakening, as amazing. There is that Nibbana. We don't know what it is. We got the definition of it. That's the most important thing to know. If there's no Nibbana, then our lives are meaningless. It is because there is a born, there is an unborn. So our purpose in life is to reach that. Our purpose in life is to come to see or to meet Nibbana. That's all. Whether we can do it in this lifetime depends both on our parami, how we develop our parami, and how much effort we put in. It also depends on our teacher. And it's because we are born as a human being, we have an opportunity. We can see both happiness and suffering. Then we can decide. What further things do we need to know in order to practice? The fundamental truth about the nature of things. fundamental truth about the characters of things in this world. What are they? First, they are all impermanent. They have three stages. They are born, they are created, they stay for some time, and then they cease. That's the end of it. Whatever you come to know, whatever you come to see, it has this first characteristic. They are created, stay for a while, and then they cease. That's the nature. That's impermanent. They change. And second characteristics comes from what the Buddha tells us. That things are either material form or non-material form. That's the nature. But they don't actually have an essence in them. If we talk about a chair, you cannot find a chairness in it, no matter how much you break up the chair. Right? You say something is beauty, you cannot find the beauty in it if you break it up. You smash it up to find the essence of beauty in it, you can't. So things do not have an intrinsic essence. So in an autopsy, when you cut somebody up, you can find the person in it. You get parts of the body, that's all. There is no intrinsic self with the person. And what we take as essence are actually those conventional truths. We take the chair as conventional truth as something intrinsic, because we're used to dealing with a chair, with the concept of a chair, with the identity of a chair. So we take that as existing, as something which is permanent. It is not. It is just a concept. And when we have a memory of it, it is just memory. It's just an identity, it's something we build up. So that's the second characteristic of things. No intrinsic essence. And the third characteristics of things is that things are as they are. And if we take things as something else, we are going to be disappointed. And that's when dukkha comes in. And we take somebody as always being like that. They are going to change, they are going to grow old, they are going to suffer disease, and they are going to die. And if we hold on to that view, hold on to the thing, we are going to suffer. So that is the third characteristic. Whether we hold on to the body, whether we hold on to the feelings we have, either love or hate, whether we hold on to perceptions that we have, good perception or bad perception, whether we hold on to good thoughts, bad thoughts, whether we hold on to good consciousness, bad consciousness, we are going to suffer. When we hold on to any of those five khandhas, we suffer. When we hold on to it, it is because we want to have it that particular way. We don't expect changing it. We are holding on to a delusion of what we have, an identity of what we have. We don't want it to change. this good feeling, this good perception, this perception of beauty, this good thought, this good idea, this good consciousness. We suffer because of the first characteristic. Paramata Dhammas. Material form changes. Non-material form also changes. Soon as we hold it, we suffer. So these are the things we work with. You want to keep in mind. Every time when we see something, we want to know what we are seeing. Every time we hold on to something, we want to know what we are holding. Whether we are holding on to absolute truth or we hold on to conventional truth. That's the first thing to know. Second thing is we have to respect both truths. We live in this world. This world is made up of two truths. Our life functions because of conventional truth. We have to respect that. We cannot go into a country and say, well, there's no difference, whether you drive on the left side or on the right side. It's just conventional truth. Everybody drives on the left side. I'm going to drive on the right side. You get into big trouble. Right? It is a truth. We live by. We have to respect that. But because it is conventional truth, it's convention. It's not absolute. So there's no absolute right or absolute wrong about it. Right? So when somebody says, well, driving on the left side is better than driving on the right side, it's mere view, mere opinion, mere conditioning. Right? That's how we want to see it. So when you go into somebody's house and you know their conventional truth, you have to respect that. For them it is real. See, because people hold on to the conventional truth. Most people do not know this truth. They take conventional truth that I have said, like a chair, as something that is true. So we have to respect that. Or else we are going to have a lot of quarrel with a lot of people and we are going to get into trouble. Finally, just to remind you the most important, there is Nibbana. And your job and our job is to get out of samsara and to meet something real, and that's Nibbana. So we want to reflect what Bhante has said today. You've listened to the Dhamma talk. You gain merit, and if you change your view, straighten your view into right view, you gain a lot of merit. And with this merit, you want to transfer to help your departed relatives, and you get bonus merit. So I'm going to chant the transference of merit, and while I'm doing it, you want to transfer the merit to your departed relatives. Yatha varivaha pura paripurinti sagara meva eto dinam petanam upakapati ichitam patitam tuham kipam ivasami jatu sape purintu sankapa chando panaraso yatha Manijoti raso yatha Sapitiyo vivajantu sabarogo vinasatu mate pavanvantarayo sukidikayuko bhavapiva Tanasili sani jambuddha pacayino cataru dhammava Dantiyayuvano sukhang Balang bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanupavena satha soti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanupavena satha soti bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanu bhavena satha soti bhavantu te. And happy Lisa, however you spend your day.